тук сме на... Ще отидем до статуя на свободата по водата, с лодка, кораб. Can I see fair? Yeah, it's fine. Let's go then. Yeah. Това е нашия кораб за статуя на свободата, дето ще отидем по водата. Ние дет минахме вчера.
Защото един е Манхатън.
Ние минахме и по двата вчера, нали?
Да. Ние отидахме по един и се минахме. Мисля, че се минахме по
този. Тук сме на един от кейовете на Нью Йорк и сега отиваме да видим статуята. След че те ще спрат там, ама ние няма да можем да отидем на парка, нали? Няма да имаме време да обикаляме и да се върнем, защото те отиват, той само минава круз, нали? That's okay, ме е по-интересно отвънка, anyway, да видя.
Този не спира.
Да. Doesn't worry me, че няма да отидем вътре. То може и вътре да се катиш, нали? Един човек си го иди с лодка.
Well, here we are in the shadow of the Brooklyn Bridge. Brooklyn Bridge, this majestic structure, was the engineering miracle of the 19th century. This was completed in 1883. Nothing like it had ever been seen before. Nothing like it had ever been attempted. When it was finished, it was twice as long as the longest bridge in the world. And it was the tallest structure in the country. It took 14 years to build, and 27 men lost their lives throughout that process. The first man who died in the shadow of the Brooklyn Bridge was its chief architect, John Roebling, a brilliant German engineer. He invented the steel wire cable you see 14,000 miles of which is strung along the bridge. Without that invention, we could not build skyscrapers. Before that, you couldn't build anything more than 7 stories tall. And he died before a single stone in this bridge was set. His foot was crushed in a ferry accident. Isn't that tragic? Some people say it was not an accident. You see, there used to be 1,200 ferry trips crossing this one point in the river every day. Captains would be losing their business, their livelihood to this bridge. One of those captains had sabotage in mind when he came along and crashed into the pier, crushing Roebling's foot. He died from infections. So his son, Washington Roebling, took over. Washington had a very dangerous job, working underneath each of these towers in a gigantic pressurized chamber known as a caisson. These caissons are pressurized with nitrogen air. Who here can tell me what happens when nitrogen bubbles rise up in the bloodstream? You know this already. When nitrogen bubbles rise up, it's called the bends, a crippling disease. 300 men were paralyzed for the rest of their lives. After escaping a fire, Washington Roebling was crippled from the waist down. He spent the rest of his life in his apartment in Brooklyn Heights, looking down over the bridge with a telescope. He continued to work on the bridge, clean up the mess the men made. Some say Emily Warren Roebling completed the Brooklyn Bridge, and that this was the first bridge in the world built by a woman. Some say it was more of a team effort, but one thing's for sure, they coined a certain motto here. They said, behind every great man stands an able-bodied woman. So let's give it up for the ladies in any sense, huh? Now, where are you ladies from here? Alabama. Welcome to New York. And are you part of the tour for the Watchtower? Oh, that's fantastic. Have you guys actually visited the facility? I heard it's outstanding. Really impressive. I should. These days, I know so much about Brooklyn. I don't know too much about that building there, except it tells me the time and the temperature. Now we got some incredible buildings on this side, on the right-hand side of the a handsome gray building with a golden statue at top. That is the Municipal so the statue's name is Civic Fame, honoring the civic heroes, the bureaucrats of the city. My father used to work in that building, used to bring my brothers and I up there for the 4th of July fireworks. Jealous? Yeah, I think so. And how about this tall building, silver swerves and curves? The Beekman Tower is work of Frank Gehry, a very popular architect. And when it's finished, it will be the tallest apartment tower in New York, 76 stories. And how about that gorgeous tall white building with the green top? The Woolworth Building was the tallest building in the world for about 60. This became the finance capital of the world. All these massive skyscrapers. And how do you get up there? Well, you don't need to be a fat cat or Wall Street bigwig to get up to the top. In fact, to get up above the buildings, all you need is about $200 for a 20-minute helicopter tour. Only $200 each. And so, Craig Severance decided to top this building out with a tiny ornamental lantern, 927 feet tall. It was the tallest building in the world. But little did he know that in the top 30 stories of the elevator shaft inside the Chrysler building, Van Allen was constructing the Silver Spire secretly. And when the time came, he hoisted it out. Not only was it the tallest building in the world, it was the only building over 1,000 of which go towards building the new World Trade Center. I'll talk a lot more about the Twin Towers later, point out where they stood, how tall they were, talk about where I was in 9/11. But I'm going to head upstairs and see all those lovely folks up there, answer any questions they may have, take any photos, and if anybody would like any requests of those, they can ask. I'll be back to talk about the Empire State Building.
Empire State Building, the projected cheddar.
8 times in 45 minutes with no safety net and no harness. Some people said he was crazy. Some people said he was French. Nonetheless, when he got back onto the roof, he was immediately arrested on 17 different accounts of trespassing, reckless endangerment, and performing without a license. They brought him to the station. They asked him, "Why did you do it?" And he said, "Why? Why? There is no why." Like I said, he was French, so I don't really know what that means. But he was eventually released and given the key to the city. Go figure. 1983, a similar stunt got pulled off. George Willig, a.k.a. Sky. The debris had blown into Brooklyn. But I was lucky I knew my cousin had gotten home safely at that point. Now on our right is Ellis Island. This is the world-famous immigration center that processed 12 million immigrants over the course of 60 years. Including my mother. Her parents came from Austria, Czechoslovakia, Hungary in 1951, 1 year before it closed down. My father's great-grandparents, who came in the 1890s, but we don't really know too much about them. And it's incredible to imagine their journey. Imagine escaping crumbling nations, poverty, disease, famine, persecution. Imagine ridding yourself of all your worldly possessions, packing your entire life into 2 suitcases. You think you could do that? They got on a horse-drawn carriage, sometimes hidden from local authorities. It led them to a boat. That boat brought them across the Atlantic Ocean for 1 month. 1 month with bad air. Stale air brought them food, bad water, stuffed in like cargo. When they finally arrived here, they were not greeted with a handshake or a hug. No records for those who were questioned or quarantined here for as much as 30 days. But only 2% of them were sent home. Only 2% were returned to their home nations. Their American dreams crushed. Symbols on here, not all of them are subconscious. The 7 points of the crown represent 7 continents, 7 seas. The tablet she holds in her hand represents law. Her feet are connected to broken shackles, representing the liberation from oppression and tyranny. And the curls of her hair, what do the curls of her hair represent? nothing. That was just the style at the time. Now how about the blaze of the torch? The blaze of the sister boat is shark. That's what I had.
Wow.
And also brace yourselves from the Governor's Island has a vast history, even before the 1700s, even before the Dutch came to Manhattan, they came to Governor's Island. Scientist laboratory. No, it's actually just an air vent because there are cars driving underneath us right now. Yeah, if you look over the edge of the boat, if you look down into the water, you can see cars driving under us.
Yeah, right.
I was kidding, sir. I was just joking. Under the surface of the Earth is the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel connecting Brooklyn on our right to Manhattan's first summer. And he did his part, also known as Victoria Flatbush, which was nicknamed the most really beautiful neighborhood. You want to come see some gorgeous Victorian homes. The house I grew up in is 106 years old with a front yard, backyard, garage, driveway, wraparound. I've been doing this for a while. Yeah. And it's good pizza, trust me. It's a taste memory. It's absolutely outstanding. It's $5 a slice. It's worth every penny. It's on Avenue J, East 15th Street, in the middle section of Brooklyn. Brooklyn is all about food. You know, #1 steakhouse in the country, Peter Luger's, best cheesecake in the world, Junior's. 2 locations of Junior's in Manhattan in case you don't have time to get out there. To the next hot dog eating contest on the 4th of July. Did you guys hear about what happened this year? The contest? Amazing story. Let me just give you like a brief history about it. The year 2000, Kobayashi, the Japanese eating machine, the tsunami came on the scene. He doubled the record from 25 to 50 in 12 minutes. And he held on to the mustard belt for the next 6 years until Joey Chestnut, a skinny little guy from San Jose, California, came on the scene, and he was good. No, he was damn good. And he challenged Kobayashi to a tiebreaker. 1.5 hot dogs more he ate than Kobayashi in 3 minutes. And he brought the mustard belt back. 17 for fast food, but it's kind of touristy, kind of cheesy. If you'd like a really good sit-down place, I recommend going to Operator. You'll find sushi at Suteshi, Spanish tapas at Salud, French bistro, gourmet Italian, wood oven pizza. Unfortunately, you can't get some old school red sauce Italian at Carmine's, 107 years old. It closed down a few days ago. But if you want to get a big frosty brew, that's all you want, well, look no further than Jeremy's Ale House, home of the Court of Coors Light for $6. When you notice the full menu of fried food and the pros pinned up all over the walls, you realize this is not exactly a class.
Аз мисля, сега сме тука. Ако искаме, може така да пресечем и да идеме нагоре. So we'd have to basically head that way, straight across.
Yep. Още не сме решили дали да ядем тук или...
Ей, може през Chinatown да минем.
Yeah.
Как го показва Chinatown? Little Italy е тука.
С Стевка отиваме към мястото, където беха Ground Zero, на български аз чуя как да го кажа, дето стана в Америка там на септември. Това е, където той е търговския център в Америка, където стана тероризма. Само, че не може да се види какво е вътре, излезе, че ще го строят, че го правят. Къде са били точно, Степче? Е тук някъде. Тая сграда още се строи, казаха, че като построят, ще почти висока, не толкова, колкото е Empire State Building, която е най-високата за момента. Стевка сме още в Нью Йорк. Тук, понеже имаме един тур и доста заето и не можахме да намерим места най-отгоре на автобуса, като не е отгоре, не е същото, не можеш да видиш хубаво. И слезнахме тук на една спирка, ще видим дали следващия автобус ще е по-празен. Тук спря на United Nations Building, това е на билдинга на... идва.
This way, one block. Yes, and you get your 5 minutes. Okay, you like to do that? Yeah. Okay, so you take your fast one. So I need to announce one more time about a good driver, slow but safe. Clayton and myself, we are in the service industry, just like cab drivers, waiters and waiting for plaza. Our stop is right in front of. Between 2 to 5 every afternoon, 7 days a week, you can have afternoon tea, $100 per person, where the flags are palm court. And that's the Playboy building, General Motors building, white one in front. That's the Apple computer store. That computer store is called Flagship. It's open 24 hours a day. They never close. They have a public restaurant downstairs. This is General Shuttle. Okay, we are stopping this stop number 19. Anybody getting off? Yeah. Okay, we have people getting off. Have a nice evening. Nice afternoon. Thank you for riding with us and thank you for your cooperation with us.
Степче, този билдинг, виж, колко е интересно. Степче. Знаеш, че моята батерия свърши. Аз имам друга долу.
Three generals who have contributed the liberation of South America. Another statue in front of us, the white one, that's a Christopher Columbus, who discovered America in 1492. Have a nice evening.
Yeah. Колко изглежда видео тук? От тук доста изглежда, видиш колко е близко. Това е Макдоналдс, тук е в Таймс Скуер, колко е зет. И постоянно има хора, ужас се, много лудници. Степчето се чуди, мисли, че ме изгуби. Ето се ключета така. Това е отсреща Таймс Скуер. Пак и тук на стълбите на сега, това на нова година също се събират много. То през цялата година всеки ден има хора. Отиваме където е самолета, летището. Напуснахме Ню Йорк. Съставчето си на летището в води са Ню Йоркско летище, те са три. Джон Кенеди, Нюарк и Лагардия. Ние Лагардия пристигнахме вчера. Лагуардия се произнася всъщност. Сега сме Нюарк, всъщност е в Ню Джерси това летище и тук сега чакаме за самолета. Стефчето отиде да вземе нещо за ядене. За пиене, после ще вземете ядене.